The contractions started around mid-morning, if I recall correctly, 15 years ago when the birth of our first child began. We went down to the beach for a bit, tried to relax and enjoy ourselves, but a few hours later something started to change. The contractions became more painful, and the mother of my children asked me to press on her lower back in the way I'd been taught at our birthing class. I did my best, but it wasn't working. In fact, the contractions slowly were becoming more painful, not less. And at one point, my partner grouched at me for not doing the massage right, understandably. Anyway, I still remember that moment when my partner realized that it wasn't that I was doing the massage wrong, it was that this was going to hurt. It was going to hurt really, really bad. And that's when a dark night of the soul moment happened for her. A kind of, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death moment. But then something changed again, and I got to witness one of the most powerful and beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. I got to see this sweet, tender woman turn into an absolutely ferocious mother warrior. And she wasn't ferocious towards an external enemy. She was ferocious towards the pure pain and exhaustion that racked her body as the labor went through the entire afternoon, through the evening, and through the whole night, culminating with the birth of our son just as the sun began to kiss the eastern horizon. And her ferocity was also protective. She was protecting our son from invasive medical procedures that would have lessened her pain, but which she believed might have been detrimental to our infant child. She willingly battled that pain for our child's sake. And it was one of the most intense things I've ever seen. When it was over and my son was sleeping in his mama's arms, I went out onto the deck and I looked at the brand new day that was dawning, but I was puzzled. Everywhere I looked, everything was somehow different. It looked just like every other morning, and yet the entire world was fundamentally different, and I knew it in my bones that it would always remain that way for the rest of my life. Just being in that room had changed me at a fundamental level, as if every strand of DNA in my body had just been reprogrammed. And perhaps it had. In my internal healing work lately, I keep getting a message about the nature of life, and the message feels profound, but also really weird because I'm a guy. I keep being told by my spirit guide that living a human lifetime on planet Earth is like being a mother giving birth. And perhaps I'm being told that because my spirit guide, who's giving me that metaphor, is the goddess of all things. That's one of the names that I call her. She keeps telling me that life is a giving birth, and giving birth can be painful. Sometimes extremely painful. And yet we can't really say no to it. When the contractions start, there ain't no stop button. There's no rewind, no backsies. There might not be any back massage either. I mean, there might be. It's worth a shot. But if we don't find anything that lessens the pain, then we have only one wise option. We have to step into fierce warrior mama mode and push that baby out. We have to have this attitude that is part total surrender and part fiercest mama warrior on the entire freaking planet. That's what I saw my partner doing. And now my goddess is reminding me over and over that I have that same warrior mama archetype inside of me. And it feels awkward for me to say that because I do have some male machismo. Sorry, but I do. Hey, what you gonna do? I'm a guy. this time around anyway. I carry a pocket knife. I sometimes wonder what would I do if I had to fight a bear with it. You know, guy things. So I'm telling you all of this as usual because I assume it's true for all of us. We will all have to give birth to moments that contain pain, sometimes intense pain. In fact, this is a stamped guarantee right on the box when we purchase a human lifespan. When those painful moments hit us, if we say no, then something really bad happens to us. What happens is that painful moment becomes stuck in our birth canal, so to speak. It becomes stuck in our mind and in our body, and it never really goes away, and it never stops trying to be born. When a painful moment gets stuck in us like this, it messes us up pretty bad. We basically cripple ourselves in a certain invisible way when we try to stop a moment that has arisen from being born through us. And it is only by saying yes, only by allowing, only by surrendering to that birthing that we free ourselves from that painful moment and move past it into a fresh new moment. I was talking to my goddess about this internally a couple of weeks ago, and she told me something very beautiful. She said that if she didn't occasionally confront me with my biggest fears, how would I ever discover that I was bigger than those fears? How would I ever realize that I was stronger than those fears if she didn't occasionally push me to go through them? If I don't allow myself to give birth to those moments, how can I ever realize that I am bigger than them? I also saw that at the end of the day, it's all only images. Everything that happens in our entire life, painful, pleasurable, beautiful, horrible, everything, is only a series of images that we are witnessing, sort of like watching a very gripping and realistic movie. That's apparently how life looks to a goddess, to a higher level of loving awareness. Life is just a movie. And we all have that same kind of higher awareness inside of us. In fact, I believe we are that higher level of loving awareness at the end of the day. When painful images arise to be born through us, our choice is simple. We say yes, or we become stuck. That's it. Those are our two choices. And that is exactly why my new prayer has become yes. Yes, yes, my goddess. I say yes to whatever you want to show me today. I say yes.